The apostle, in the previous verses, as we have seen, sets forth how great and essential a thing charity, or a spirit of Christian love, is in Christianity, that it is far more necessary and excellent than any of the extraordinary gifts of the Spirit, that it far exceeds all external performances and sufferings, and, in short, that it is the sum of all that is distinguishing and saving in Christianity, the very life and soul of all religion, without which, though we give all our goods to feed the poor, and our bodies to be burned, we are nothing. And now he proceeds, as his subject naturally leads him, to show the excellent nature of charity, by describing its several amiable and excellent fruits. In the text, 2 of these fruits are mentioned: suffering long, which has respect to the evil or injury received from others, and being kind, which has respect to the good to be done to others. Dwelling for the present on the first of these points, I would endeavor to show that charity, or a truly Christian spirit, will dispose us meekly to bear the evil that is received from others, or the injuries that others may do to us. Meekness is a great part of the Christian spirit. Christ, in that earnest and touching call and invitation of his that we have in the 11th chapter of Matthew, in which he invites all that labor and are heavy laden to come to himself for rest, particularly mentions that he would have them come to learn of him. For he adds, "I am meek and lowly of heart." And meekness, as it respects injuries received from men, is called long-suffering in the Scriptures, and is often mentioned as an exercise or fruit of the Christian spirit. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering. And Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long-suffering, etc. And Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 and 13, Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. In dwelling more fully on this point, I would take notice of some of the various kinds of injuries that we may receive from others, show what is meant by meekly bearing such injuries, and how that love, which is the sum of the Christian spirit, will dispose us to do this. And 1. I would briefly notice some of the various kinds of injuries that we may or do receive from others. Some injure others in their estates by unfairness and dishonesty in their dealings, by being fraudulent and deceitful with them, or at least by leading them to act in the dark and taking advantage of their ignorance, or by oppressing them, taking advantage of their necessities, or by unfaithfulness towards them, not fulfilling their promises and engagements, and being slack and slighting in any business they are employed in by their neighbors, aiming at nothing but just to meet the letter of their engagements, and not being careful to improve their time to the utmost in accomplishing that which they are engaged to do, or by asking unreasonable prices for what they do, or by withholding what is due from their neighbors unjustly, neglecting to pay their debts, or unnecessarily putting their neighbors to trouble and difficulty to get what is due from them. And besides these, there are many other methods in which men injure one another in their dealings, by an abundance of crooked and perverse ways in which they are far from doing to others as they would have them do to themselves, and by which they provoke and irritate and injure one another. Some injure others in their good name, by reproaching or speaking evil of them behind their backs. No injury is more common, and no iniquity more frequent or base than this. Other ways of injury are abundant, but the amount of injury by evil speaking of this kind is beyond account. Some injure others by making or spreading false reports about them, and so cruelly slandering them,